Okay, so especially for this Congress, I decided to prepare, I think, quite controversial presentation about two sensitive topics. The first topic is anonymous insurance. I was just thinking how it is possible to make something like anonymous insurance. We have anonymous cryptocurrencies, we can have anonymous prediction market, so it's definitely technically feasible. So I decided to describe this concept, and I made this presentation. So my presentation will be about technical feasibility of anonymous crypto insurance. What does it mean, anonymous crypto insurance? It basically means that you can be insured against practically anything. You know, there is no someone like the state which is able to regulate or shut down the insurance. And also, my second part of the presentation will be about prediction markets. Or anonymous prediction markets. And I'm going to talk about the new phenomenon, which is called, or I decided to call it, democratization of corporatism. What basically means that in these days, only some big financial groups corrupt or lobby the government. And I was thinking about the idea that we can democratize this process to all people thanks to anonymous prediction market, because in these days we are able to do something what is called anonymous economical incentive, thanks to the prediction markets and anonymous cryptocurrencies. And thanks to this concept, it's possible to make completely anonymous perfect corruption. So now, thanks to crypto anarchy technologies, anybody can corrupt politicians, not just big financial groups. Okay, so let's start. Yeah, this disclaimer is really important to say. Okay, I didn't make, even I'm not considering to make any practical implementation of anything I will say in this presentation. Okay, so this is a theoretical research of technical possibilities of truly cryptocurrencies, anonymization networks, and prediction markets. So you can be inspired of all of these things. You can do whatever you want, but I just want to tell you, I'm not involved more in these topics, and I don't want to be involved. So the goal of this presentation is just to show you that such solutions are technically possible, and this solution can significantly undermine the current political system. Okay, so let's talk about reason why this system should exist. So firstly, there are a lot of victimless crime in our society. For example, we have a lot of mandatory insurance. In Czech Republic, we have, and also in Slovakia, in most European countries, there is mandatory healthcare insurance, which is not mandatory in the US, or is it? Maybe Obamacare, now it's a bit mandatory. Anyway, drugs are prohibited in almost all countries in the world. Okay, weed is legalized in West Coast, but in Slovakia, for example, I'm from Slovakia, the situation is really bad. The same for taxes. You know, there are a lot of people end up in jail just for tax criminality. Also, if you do business in Europe, especially in Slovakia or Czech Republic, it's a really bureaucratic process. We don't have much economical freedom in Europe when we compare the situation, for example, with Southeast Asia. So we need to follow a lot of stupid laws. For example, in Czech Republic, it's EET, the new financial dictatorship legislation, according which all pubs, restaurants, all service providers, they have to notify Czech tax office about all transactions in cash. Also, there are a lot of angry people and entrepreneurs, and they can have many different reasons why they just want to be insured against the state or against some stupid laws. And the last thing is that now, in these days, thanks to anonymous, truly anonymous cryptocurrencies, like for example Monero or zCash, and thanks to anonymization using Tor I2P, is it possible? It is technically definitely possible to make the system that can help you a lot. Okay, so firstly, I would like to tell you how the traditional insurance business works. So the current legal insurance business it's totally regulated by the government. So even if you want to start a new insurance product, it has to be approved by the government. So, and also the scope of the insurance is significantly limited, you know. So another thing is you have to be 100% compliant with the legislation, and of course you cannot be insured against any laws, even if you think these laws are totally stupid and immoral. Okay, so I'm going to describe you multiple steps, like technical steps, how it is possible to implement this anonymous insurance. So the first step is registration. You can register your physical entity like a physical person, or you can register a legal entity like a company to the insurance company, to the anonymous insurance company. So so the goal is that the insurance company shouldn't know the real customer names until the insurance claim. This is technically feasible to achieve thanks to HMAC function, what basically means that you just take the name of your company, for example, or your physical name, and you just encrypt, or you just make a hash function of your legal or physical name using some passphrase, and this information, this hash ID, will be some identity, some ID, which will be associated with you and with all your monthly payments. So this ID, the result of this hash, is used as a unique insurance customer's ID. Okay, so thanks to this, it is possible. The insurance company know that you regularly pay your insurance since the given date until insurance claim, for example. What is quite interesting about this, there can be something like trusted adjuster. What means that even when you claim when you send the insurance claim, the anonymous insurance company can pay you insurance without revealing your identity, because you can just set up some kind of moderator which is trusted between you and insurance company. So this kind of moderator is something very similar, like moderator in case of Open Bazaar, for example. You know, so you don't need to trust the provider of your insurance. You don't need to reveal any sensitive information to the provider of your insurance. You just need to trust your moderator, and all insurance claim is done through this moderator, through this trusted adjuster. Okay? Sorry. Okay, insurance claim. Okay, so now you get a fine from the government, from the state, and you want to ask for your insurance claim. So what do you do? So if you decided not to use like moderator, you just scan your penalty evidence, that you got some evidence, and you upload this evidence to the anonymous insurance company through Tor I2P, and ideally encrypted with your PGP key. So insurance company can verify the authenticity of the insurance request. The thing is that that how it is possible to prove authenticity of the government penalties. I'm going to explain this problem in another slide. Definitely, it is possible to make 100% proof, or almost 100% proof, that the given fine or given penalty from the government is true, because otherwise you can generate and you can send fake government penalties to all people and companies and for them to pay these fines. Okay, and if the insurance company verifies that the given evidence is real, you just receive your money in Monero, zCash, or some other cryptocurrency. Okay, and now how it is possible to verify authenticity of the penalty evidence? So, for example, in Europe, especially in Slovakia as well in Czech Republic, there is something what is called ZEP, Zaručený elektronický podpis, or in English it's guaranteed electronic signatures. What basically means that you can take your penalty from the government, you can visit Czech or Slovak notary, and you can ask him to digitally sign this official document, official penalty from the government, and we can ask him to provide you like digital version of this document, digitally signed by his private key, which is verified by the government. And when you do that, you just use the government mechanism to gain the verified document you can subsequently upload or send to the anonymous insurance company. So you just basically use the state notary service to make digitally signed version of your evidence. This is quite interesting to say. And the thing is that if you want to make a fake version or modified version of this penalty, of this evidence of this penalty, and you bring your fake version of your evidence of penalty to the official state notary, and you ask him to make like a digital electronic signature version of this document, you are committing a really serious crime. It's a criminal act. So you just need to rely to this. So the question is if anonymous insurance should be also able to insure against this kind of crime. Anyway, just interesting thing is that you have a digitally signed version of your penalty evidence from the state notary, and you just use this document and upload to Anonymous Insurance. And Anonymous Insurance, they have a public keys of the government state certification authorities, so you can very easily verify if the given evidence of penalty is true, is valid or not. Okay. So also we need to think how it is possible to prevent false claims. You know, there can be many situations that for sure that you in 1 day or 2 days you receive a very huge penalty from the government. How it is possible to do with that? So the principle can be like how to cope with this situation is quite similar, like in case many other official legal insurance companies. For example, if you're the customer of anonymous insurance company, you have to be insured in the given insurance company, for example, few months, and after you pay your regular insurance, for example, 6 months, you are able or you are allowed to send insurance claim, for example. And also there can be, for example, limit of the maximum amount of claims of insurance claim, for example, during 1 week or during 1 month. This can be, it's the only question of mutual agreement between you and between anonymous insurance. And of course, there can be many different competitive insurance company, anonymous insurance company, and they can provide you many different conditions or many different competitive advantage, and you can decide which of these insurance company you want to use. Okay, another step: how it is possible to completely hide your real identity. So as I already mentioned at the beginning, insurance companies do not need to have any real information about their customers. This is technically possible to achieve thanks to trusted adjusters or trusted liquidators or moderators. I call it like moderators, and you can choose some trusted liquidators during the registration process, and only these people, they will know your true identity, and they will handle complete communication between you and the anonymous insurance company. Okay, but if you want to use these moderators, you will probably need to pay some percentage from your monthly insurance or your insurance claim to these people. Okay. So finally, the customers of this anonymous insurance company, they can voluntarily choose if they want to be directly the customers of anonymous insurance, or they just want to be handled by some trusted adjusters, which will be probably more expensive. Okay. Okay. And now it's a phase for recalculation of insurance fees. So the insurance payment, like the amount of insurance or insurance fees in anonymous insurance company will be, of course, given by the free market. So insurance payment will be recalculated weekly or monthly or even maybe every day according to the number of insurance incidents, number of paid insurance claims, paid customer, and so on. So I personally don't think this is any technical problem. It's just statistical mathematics. So it can be solved. In insurance company, you can be basically insured against anything in anonymous insurance company. So I think that this real insurance market with the anonymous insurance companies, exists when there will be just feasible insurance plan. So, for example, when there will be enough entrepreneurs or companies who consider the given law to be unethical, and they just and of course the government will not have enough skilled people to check all insurance or all entrepreneurs and able to issue devastating fines. Okay. And now I would like to summarize this presentation and say some really important facts. So what is cool about this anonymous insurance, that is for the government, for the state, it will be impossible to prove you that you are insured against any law. You know, they are not even able to reveal and to prove you that you are sending any money, because you will use truly anonymous cryptocurrencies to the anonymous insurance. Another thing is that government officials have really limited sources to penalize all people, all citizens, all entrepreneurs. So what they can do, they can just make some exemplary lawsuits. They can just can choose some victims, you know. Another interesting thing is that if we have more and more victimless crimes, it means that we'll have probably also like more anonymous insurance companies, that there will be more economical incentive to start these companies. So another thing is that all anonymization technology and also the state dictatorship is always improve over time. So personally, because of these two reasons, I think there is only question of time when these anonymous insurance companies start to exist. So what we can do with that? We can do like, if you want to eliminate crypto markets with drugs, the best way how to do that is to legalize drugs. And the same can be in case of anonymous insurance companies. I think the most people will be insured against victimless crime. So if you want to fight as a government with the anonymous insurance companies, the best way how to do that is just abolish any stupid victimless crime. Another thing is that thanks to anonymous insurance, it can be also motivation for many ordinary common people to start using truly cryptocurrencies, just because they just want to protect their company, they want to protect their property. Okay. Of course, maybe you can argue, fine, the government can significantly increase all penalties, they can do very strict checks, and these penalties can be devastating. So yeah, it's possible. Maybe the business plan of insurance company will not work. It's possible. Maybe yes, maybe not. the best situation is definitely to move. In this case, the best solution is to move your business out of your company to some different company. And the last thing I already mentioned is that the government doesn't have enough companies, skilled people, officials, and so to check all companies, all citizens, if you are following some laws or not. So why insurance companies could exist is just because we are in quite asymmetric situation, you know, with the apparent advantage for anonymous insurance companies. Okay, I don't know, how much time do I have? Enough? Okay, because maybe oh, cool. Okay, so this is a special slide I created for my left-wing friends, because I think that even from this left-wing perspective, like existence of anonymous insurance companies can be moral, because the question is, what about if we rename the insurance like anonymous insurance company against the government to something? Okay, let's be insured to provide financial security for my family, because I'm the father of this family and I just end up in jail. So from this perspective, I think it's quite, for example, if I'm caught with as a drug dealer, for example, or with a drug possession, I will end up in jail. So what I do when this project is presented, like, okay, this is insurance to protect my family against this situation, you know, to provide them some kind of financial security, especially in this situation when the father of the family end up in jail. So I think if you take it from this perspective, I think it's definitely moral. Okay, if you are another thing, I analyze situation in Czech Republic and Slovakia. If you're a customer of such anonymous insurance, not provider but just customers, and you, in case of small offenses, it seems for you it's completely legal. In the case of criminal acts, it's definitely not legal. Okay, and I was also thinking against like nice competitive market of multiple anonymous insurance. So, for example, anarchists, they probably will have like anonymous insurance against all victimless crimes. There can be anonymous insurance companies for drug users or dealers. So you can be insured against drug possession and dealing crimes. Even like gun, you can be insured against illegal gun possession. For example, in Europe, compared to the US, you cannot own gun without official legal permit, for example. And also, if you're entrepreneurs, probably there will be anonymous insurance against stupid bureaucracy focused on entrepreneurs and companies. Okay, and also there can be also dark side of anonymous insurance, because of course, because everything is anonymous, it's quite likely, or it's possible there will be to make anonymous insurance against real crimes with the real victims. But what I think is that in this situation, I believe they will have only a few customers, bad reputation, and extremely high insurance fees, because you know, not very people will be willing to involve this. Okay, and in case of criminal act, I mean, not penalty from the government, the anonymous insurance can pay you all expenses related to the best lawyer, for example, or all legal defending cost. Fine. And I've already mentioned this, but I would like to repeat it. So how the government can eliminate anonymous insurance? There are temporary and permanent solution. So temporary solution is that the government can try to increase amounts of fine and penalties. But the problem is that there will be a lot of false positive, you know, a lot of honest entrepreneurs can be victim of these new dictatorship laws, for example. Also, the government can hire, for example, another 10,000 people and can make a lot of checks of potential criminals. But the problem is this will be definitely really expensive for the government. You know, the number of employees of the government cannot be doubled just because we have anonymous insurance companies. Maybe yes, I don't know. But okay, and these are some permanent solutions which are quite utopistic, but we'll see. One solution is abolish all victimless crime. Well, I think it's not possible in the current society, but maybe it's possible in anarcho-based societies. And also, another permanent solution is just to have really effective laws that can be easily checked and enforced. Okay, and now we are moving to the second part of my presentation, not about anonymous insurance companies, but about prediction market and about the fact how it is possible to achieve perfect corruption using prediction market. So this concept is not new. It's not my idea. Like this concept was described by Timothy Simay in Cyphernomicon 25 years ago. And there is also one guy, I strongly recommend you to read some articles from this guy, and his name is Robert Hanson. And he created something, what is futarchy. It's a basically society, new kind of futuristic society based on prediction market. Okay, I recommend you to read the article "Vote Values but Bad Beliefs." Okay. So, firstly, technologically, this is also feasible because we have truly anonymous cryptocurrencies, like with the fungibility property, which is required in this case of situation, called Monero, zCash, zCoin. And also, it's possible for us to make anonymous prediction market that accept truly anonymous cryptocurrency only, and it can be accessed through Tor hidden service or I2P hidden service, but basically means it's completely anonymous and cannot be shut down or cannot be regulated by the government. Also, in these days, there is a fully decentralized version of prediction market based on Ethereum. One of these projects is Augur, second project is Gnosis. So even in these days, we have fully decentralized prediction market. Okay, so I'm going to describe the current situation in the society. So as you know, the governments, they have monopoly for laws and regulation, and all these regulations are exploited by corporation, and this is called corporatism. You know, corporatism is a global problem. It's everywhere. So in these days, only some group of lobbyists and corporations can corrupt politicians, including members of parliament. And thanks to this fact, or thanks to this lobby, if you want to lobby the politician, there has to be quite a lot of mutual trust with the politician if you want to corrupt him. It's not possible just to randomly come to some politician, offer him, for example, a few $millions and try to corrupt him. You need to have some kind of trust. Okay, so because of this, the corruption is limited to the government-friendly financial lobbyist groups. Okay, but fortunately, we have prediction market, so we can move to something completely new, what is called post-anonymous prediction market society. So, for the first time in human history, we have something what is called anonymous economic incentive. Thanks to prediction market, anonymous prediction market, we can create and we can use anonymous economic incentive. So thanks to this, we can, I would like to call it democratization of corporatism. We can allow to anyone to corrupt politician or to corrupt anyone thanks to prediction market. So how is it possible technically? Like, I've specialized disrupting the parliament democracy election, you know. For example, you know, you have a lot of, in Slovakia, Czech Republic, we have parliament democracy, so there are a lot of places where people can vote for their favorite party. So what you can do if you want to achieve some political result, you can make a bet to the opposite. For example, you can bet 1,000 Moneros that the party X will not win. Okay, so what you do is you make a strong economic incentive for the election inspector or poll workers to manipulate their polling and make the opposite bet that the party X will win. So this is quite interesting. Yeah. So in this situation, they can make opposite bet, and they can reward, and truly they can gain your reward in a completely anonymous ways, because you will pay moderator of this prediction market will pay it in truly anonymous crypto. So thanks to this, you can achieve perfect corruption. It is technically impossible to prove that the election inspector or poll workers took the bribe. Okay, the same method can be applied to corrupt any politician or any member of parliament. Okay, so you just want you want lobby or corrupt some member of parliament. So what you do, you just bet 1,000 Moneros that the given member of politician in parliament will vote or will not vote for the given proposal. And the same situation. So this creates the anonymous economic incentive for the given politician to make the opposite bet against the win in a completely anonymous way. Another thing is you can even make a bet for the result of voting of all parties of all parliaments, for example. So in this situation, we also create economic incentive of many people in parliament to collaborate to make an opposite bet, get the huge win, and divide it to each participant of this. So what is, maybe you can argue, okay, you are completely crazy. Like politicians have no clue what is Monero. I can tell you guys, if you have 100 million euros in Monero, I'm more than sure that each politician will find some information or Google some information what is Monero and how it is possible to gain Monero. Okay, and the last slide of my presentation. This is quite interesting. For the first time in history, it is feasible to achieve two things. The first thing is anonymous insurance. So we have technologies, and thanks to these technologies, it is possible to make anonymous insurance companies that allows anyone to be insured against any law. And this kind of business can completely can lead to disintegration of the authoritative system, any authoritative system with a centralized power. Also, we have for the first time in our history something which is called anonymous economic incentive, and thanks to this, it's possible to make perfect corruption, and perfect bribes with the impossibility to identify anyone. Okay. Okay, and maybe the last sentence I should mention that maybe you are totally shocked from my presentation. That I just want to tell you that, guys, I'm not telling you that this is good or bad. I just want to tell you this is technically feasible, and maybe you can be concerned with this democratization process of corruption, but I would like to tell you that it is necessary to think that thanks to this prediction market, more and more people can use something what Taleb defines like skin in the game, and they can use their own money to change the system. To change the system in such a way that it will reflect their beliefs, and this system is already described like a futarchy. That's all. Thank you a lot.
Thank you. So we have some time for Q&A. So.
Hello and thanks for your talk. I just want to ask, you mentioned that it will lead to more democratic way of corrupting the system, right?
Everybody can corrupt, yeah.
Yeah, but still the system right now is set up in a way that the most money are held by the richest people and the richest companies. So if this will be the case, they will still have the most capital to corrupt. So still they can have their way, even though they will have to put more money on the line because they have to compete with like more people. But at the end of the day, with the current setup, I think they will still win. Is it correct or not?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, you are right that rich people control the current society, and probably rich people will control the future society. That's completely right. But what I want to tell you is that I think that the society will be much fairer, and society will be better if instead of our vote, like a paper vote, we vote by our wallets. You know, just because if it is possible to vote in the system by our wallets, there will be something like skin in the game, and a lot of stupid law, and people will not vote with their wallets against really stupid laws. So I'm anarcho-capitalist. So I think that this kind of society, when people will vote, for example, thanks to prediction market by their wallet, this system will be at least economically more efficient and better. Okay, so what do you think about the system when people who pay more taxes will have like, how to say, more voting power? Yeah, like for example, this was already implemented. This was implemented during the Austrian-Hungary 200 or 300 years ago, by the way. And personally, I think it'll be better. I'm not saying that it'll be ideal system, but I think it'll be better because, you know, we will not have so many social programs that provide people illusion that the government will be able to care about them in the future. This is one of the biggest problems of the current social programs of the government is they create illusion that the government will care about you in the future, and that's not true because we have really no idea if the current government or current political system will exist after 10 years or 20 years. I doubt. I don't know. So providing this illusion is really bad, and that's the problem of all the current government programs. So I think that at least this problem can be solved by this.
Will I ask you to not build microphone because?
Okay.
Hi, thank you very much for your talk, especially for your example of governmental corruption. I think I had some kind of new insight about prediction markets. So what do you think of the following? Like, on the one hand, imagine a prediction market or something like an earthquake, which cannot be influenced by anybody, and this acts like a perfect market, like everybody prices in their knowledge, and like we can predict earthquakes. But if we're trying to predict some event that other people can influence, they also become players. So consider an example, if I'm a member of political party, I want this party to win, and I think it's possible this party will win, and I want to place a bet on the winning of this party to be like part of this game. But on the other hand, as you explained, I have an incentive to bet against this party to make the participants of the game incentivized to make my party win. So do you think this can be kind of an obstacle for development of prediction markets, this contradictory incentives if I want to bet on some outcome that I want to happen?
Good question. I think this won't be a problem for prediction market, just because it just means there will be much more money for the given bet. That's the first thing, and another thing is that the politician who is corrupted, he knows perfectly, or he knows that how he will vote or not. So only he. So even if there are other people decide to make some bets, only he, like corrupted politician, knows exactly the result of his voting, and thanks to this, only he can put the biggest or the most amount of money to this bet and gain and gain the most money. So what I want to tell you is that other people who just vote, they don't know the result of this bet. So they need to take some risk. But the corrupted politician, for corrupted politician, there is no risk at all. So because there is no risk for a corrupted politician, it means that he can put unlimited number of money to the bet and also gain the maximum and maximum benefits or maximum amount of money from the bet. So yes, something like you are saying, it's possible, but for sure I can tell you that in the end, the corrupted politician, because he knows the result of the bet, will gain the most money.
Yeah, a quick follow-up question. So imagine elections in Germany. Imagine if I'm a fan of Angela Merkel and I think that her party will likely win. And should I bet on her party to win or should I not? Because if I bet, I will make the probability of her winning lower. Should I do it?
I don't know. Personally, I don't know if Merkel will be willing to make opposite bets in order to win the bet. I don't know. I completely agree that some maybe it won't be possible to corrupt some politician. That's fine. But in a democratic society, you just need to corrupt 50% of politicians, for example, or the majority of politicians. So it's completely fine if you cannot corrupt some people, if you are able corrupt most of them.
Okay.
A question about the anonymous insurance companies. If you do document forgery, there's often the case that if you provide some kind of evidence, say you faked your academic degree and you write it down somewhere, then usually companies that do that use this information to blackmail you. So if you have an anonymous insurance company, you're anonymous because you only provide the hash of your ID or something. But sooner or later, if you do the claim, you will have to prove it, as you said, by a digitally signed document where you cannot change your name. So how can you prevent it that they do not use this information to blackmail you even more? So the anonymous insurance company, I mean, so that they say, okay.
So who will blackmail you? The question is,
the insurance company could blackmail you. Because they could say, okay, we will tell the government that you tried to make an illegal insurance against the criminal law. How can you prevent the company from doing that?
I think
it's just trust-based.
If someone is doing completely illegal business, like insurance companies, I think it's highly risky for him to blackmail you, because otherwise he will or she will reveal her identity. Like for example. You know what I mean? So if you do something illegal against, for example, drug dealer, I think I doubt that the drug dealer will contact the police to catch you, for example. Just, maybe they will maybe he will kill you. That's more likely, or something like that. But it's a completely the opposite side. Like the criminals. Because if this company tries to compromise you using the government officially using like government police, I think you can just say, okay, that's an anonymous company, like just catch him. He's also criminal. He provides anonymous insurance services. So you can also try to blackmail him. Just because he provides anonymous insurance. Okay.
So thank you. Sorry, but time is running.
Okay. The last
thank you. I think you can meet Pavol here in the Congress. He will be here all the time. Thank you very much.